Let's go!
You are now watching 14A Sports on 15MOFE.com.
Hey! 15 minutes of fame.
You are now listening to 15 Minutes of Fame Radio.
Let's go!
Now stepping into 15 Minutes of Fame Radio.
That's my motherfucking jam right there.
Welcome to the 14A Sports Radio Show. Would love to welcome everybody back here this week. Rich back again, as always, and back off his week-long hiatus down in the Sunshine State. Irish Bird is back with us.
I broke my perfect attendance streak, huh?
You did?
Perfect attendance, yeah. But hey, what are you gonna do? No, it was a nice, relaxed vacation. I was gonna call in, but I was on a motherfucking boat, man. So I had my swim trunks and flippy floppies, but I didn't have a good cell phone service, so I knew you guys would take care of it. Sounded like you guys had a great show, so but very happy to be back, no doubt.
Yeah, and special thanks out to Dennis Rorty, otherwise known as Nipsey around the hood, and George Martinez. They stepped in last week. They did a great job. So
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it.
If you guys are ever on a motherfucking boat again, then it's looking like we got some good replacements. Now, one of the big stories that we got into last week, you weren't here for it, a big Rutgers alum, such as yourself. How do you feel about this whole Mike Rice situation?
I just generally speaking, it's a complete embarrassment. It's a complete and utter embarrassment. They mishandled every step of the way. They mishandled the situation. In the end, all you Rutgers alum out there, you're all familiar with the term, the RU screw. As a Rutgers student, you go through it between tickets and classes and dorms and how you get RU screwed somehow. Tim Pernetti got RU screwed, no doubt about it. He wanted to fire Rice initially. He went through the proper channels. They basically bounced it back, and he was the fall guy. He was a scapegoat. Luckily for him, he had a little bit of a golden parachute going out, so it's nice. But Pernetti, he brought Rutgers into the Big Ten, which that's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer,
Right.
and no loyalty, man. No loyalty.
Well, did you see the severance package that Pernetti got for
it's
leaving?
incredible.
He gets $1.2 million for leaving, and I think this is the best part of it. He gets an iPad.
Oh, yeah?
Beautiful. Forget about the car allowance. Forget about the health insurance coverage.
Yeah.
This guy gets an iPad.
Well,
He's making it out like a bandit.
He could use it to fill out job applications.
Right off the bat.
No, but he'll land on his feet. He's a good dude. But he got fired from. He was a Rutgers tight end, obviously Rutgers alumnus. He got fired from his dream job, and unjustifiably, I think. But the whole thing is just an absolute complete embarrassment, really.
Yeah, I agree. What I was saying on the show last week, I was saying, he's just trying to toughen these kids up. Rutgers hasn't been to the tournament in forever. Yes, he might have went about it a little over the top, but I understand his mentality here, where he's trying to toughen these kids up. And they're playing in the Big East, which has always been the best conference in college basketball. I think the Big Ten stepped up a little this year and took that crown, but I can't fault him on the level of trying to inspire his players, but there's definitely something else that he could have done there.
Yeah. Well, you knew Pernetti was going to take the fall last week when this all came out, and he didn't fire him back in November.
But he wanted to, and they told him he couldn't. That was the whole thing. He wanted to fire him. They said, no, legally you can't. And he wanted to spend it for 10 games. They reduced.
Well, then he got the screw.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No, he absolutely did. And you could tell, like, all the, not famous, but Rutgers alum, pros, Sean O'Hara, Brian Leonard, the McCourty twins, all came out in defense of Pernetti. They knew he did a tremendous job. But, hey, you know what? What are you going to do? So, actually, the coaching position, I heard, within my Rutgers circles, I really want Danny Hurley. That's who I really want.
That's the big name, man.
URI just gave him an extension, but in college sports, extensions don't mean anything. But then I also heard that Ben Haaland, who got dismissed by UCLA, that he's intrigued by the job. So, if you get one of those two guys, you land on your feet, you're headed in the right direction. But it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be, associated with Rutgers. So,
Do they have a good core of players that makes the job sexy to anybody? Or?
no, and in fact, there are 3 recruits that they have for the season, all decommitted, all going elsewhere. So I mean, they have some young talent. They have some young talent, but they haven't recruited the Jersey area well enough, or the metropolitan area. I mean, you look at the NCAA tournament. There's kids from this area, Brooklyn, all over. St. Anthony's the best high school program in the country. So I don't know. It's.
Oh, he doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
No, it's terrible, man. It's terrible.
All right. Well, before we go on any further, make sure you guys are checking out the website all the time. 14asports.com. We're out there in cyberspace. We're loving it. We're not bullying anybody. We also we got our own Facebook page. You want to check that out? Make sure you're liking it. We're on Twitter and Instagram at 14asports. Also, if you want to listen to us live on your mobile phone, check out 15mofe.com. You're going to be able to download the browser and everything that's going to allow you to watch this show. Also coming up on the show tonight, he's in the studio already. He was here punctually.
Very punctual.
Bobby DiCerio is going to be here. Well, he is here, but we're gonna have him on after this first break when we wrap up the Final Four talk. We're gonna get into some Brooklyn Nets basketball as they head into the playoffs right now. If you haven't seen any of Bob's videos, he's out there on YouTube at BK Nets Cap.
Very funny. Very funny
A
stuff.
lot of good stuff out
great.
there. Make sure you go check out the
Classic.
archives. But how about that one Nets game where they lost to the Spurs and the Spurs didn't have
They weren't
Duncan
really the Spurs.
or
They sat
Parker?
to 3 guys, right?
Yeah. Oh, man, I think that's one of his greatest
it's
performances.
the classic.
That's good.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice.
YouTube gold. That's what we call it around here.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So, over the weekend, too, I was out at the AC Beer Festival. I was tossing out cards to all the brewers out there, making sure they're watching the show and everything. So hopefully,
If we get
all
hooked
you
up with
guys
anyone,
out there-
it should be a freaking brew.
Yeah. I told them, if you want to sponsor your beer, this is the place to do it, my friend.
That's right up our alley.
Yeah. So, big shout out to all those guys. They were all nice. Nobody ripped up a card right in front of my face.
Nice.
So,
They waited for you to walk away.
yeah, they probably
Then
did.
they wipe their ass.
Like, can somebody scoop? We need something to scoop this up. Oh, wait a minute. But at least they didn't do it. Hopefully, they didn't do it on the calendar side. That's the most important part of it.
Right. Well, yeah, people keep them because of that.
Oh, yeah.
calendar. I'll give you
Not
credit
like
for
a
that.
good pocket calendar.
That was an ingenious
Oh, yeah.
move. Yeah.
The other thing today, I was out there at I was at a job fair today at the Prudential Center.
Right.
Because I'm trying to get myself into corporate America like all the normal people do.
This isn't your full-time gig, I guess.
No, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
But I'm out there, and can you believe this? It's an all-sports job fair. $78 to get into this thing.
Do they know you have a radio show?
They don't.
They should have
don't.
been paying you to go out there.
I
What,
know.
Are you kidding me?
If you had your damn press pass on, you blow right past that $78.
Well, the one thing about it, I mean, you got people looking for jobs, and you're selling them a job fair for $78. I mean,
that's-
come on.
Come on, man. Yeah, that's a
Come
little
on.
ridiculous. That is.
Well, now that the Nets left, I mean, I guess they got to find some way to make extra money.
that building's that's a disaster. That building.
Unbelievable. All right, so this weekend we had the Final Four. Louisville comes away the big champions. Congratulations to them.
Did you have them winning it?
I did not.
You know who had them winning it?
You did.
I think you did, right, Brian?
I did.
Listen, and I
You know
remember
what, though? They were the best team. They were the best team.
I wanted you
Clearly.
to be ballsy with a pick. You know, that's.
I wanted to be right with the.
That's no fun.
There.
That's no fun. That's why you got to have New Mexico in the Final
Yeah,
Four.
who's 2 out of 4 Final Four picks got knocked out in the first round? I don't know.
Anybody around here?
Yeah.
Anybody around here? So in the first game, Louisville took on Wichita State. Wichita State looked like they had them there
Oh,
for a
man,
little while.
They surprised them.
Despite my boy Armstead going only 1 of 10 from the field, only 2 points.
Yeah, they started off great. They were up 8-0. I was actually flying home, but I was on JetBlue, so you have the TV. So I was watching on the
Shoot,
plane.
14A Sports is paying well these days.
Yeah. So, but no, Wichita State started off tremendous. They hung on them the whole time. What do you think? Fatigue? Or Louisville's just good. They make runs. They did the same thing in the championship game. They just make runs.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
an incredible
They did
run.
that against Duke. Duke, they were about even at the half. Louisville came out, they put together, a 14-3 run, a 17-5 run, and they put the game away. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, that Louisville team, their defense just seems to always be on you, and I could say it is probably a factor of fatigue, these guys just, they get tired of dealing with it, and that game against Duke, in the Elite Eight, Duke was just terrible. I mean, they broke the press, but, they had a 3-on-2 down court pretty much every time, and they didn't take advantage of it.
They didn't capitalize, absolutely.
So,
You got freaking Georgie Jang in there. He looks like he's about 300 feet tall.
Oh my! That guy's 32. That guy is 32.
Yeah. Walt put it out there, and I have to agree with
There's
him.
no way that guy
He's
is
recruited
getting
right
a
out of
college
prison.
education.
Where'd they get him? Rikers?
No, they got him from Africa.
Yeah.
No, he is. He's from
Yeah. He's on one of those blood
Senegal.
diamond trails.
That wasn't
Staying away from that one.
That wasn't
Don't
a
try and set me up like that.
That wasn't a joke. He's from Senegal.
Oh man. Yeah, so Michigan. They had a 12-point lead in this game. Trey Burke gets his second foul.
What did you think of that when Burke picked up a second and he put him on a bench for 12
You know,
minutes of the first half?
With the way that Spike was going at it in the first half, I mean, it looked like it, but you could see that. All right, Spike, this is a man's game here in the national championship. Like you got your couple minutes of fame there, and Oates during the national champion, give the ball to Spike. When Spike's not in there, put Spike in. That was Oates. Come on, Oates. I'm right here. I'm right here.
I wish I watched that game with you. Can't even get that out.
Loving. She's loving Spike, and then you see Spike Albrecht.
Well-
After the game, he tweets out. He sees Kate Upton at one of the games. He's tweeting at her. He's like, he just forgot all about losing the national championship. He's right out there.
Hey, you gotta, you missed
Strike while the iron's
yeah,
up.
Yeah, that's it.
You gotta
But
capitalize.
I was gonna say, at least she's cheering for Spike and not Georgie Jack. Because that would just be weird.
I can't continue.
So good job on that, Oates.
I can't continue after that. Oh, no.
Go, George.
That's too much.
those
That's too much.
Senegalese.
That is too much.
That's funny.
Yeah, so, Louisville wins this game. It looks like a lot of the guys from this national champion, everybody from Michigan and Louisville, they're going to have a lot of good NBA prospects out of the two rosters in this game.
McCrary, we're calling him McGillicuddy's, but McCrary, man, that's how Michigan got to the championship game. McCrary dominated, and he Georgie pretty much, he's pretty neutralized that game. But he's definitely an NBA prospect, freshman. Burke, obviously, maybe Hardaway, Glenn Robinson, and on the other end, Russ Smith, who's already decided he's going pro. He already declared. Georgie's a pro. And, I don't know what you think of, Siva. He's a little inconsistent, but, he possibly, backup point guard type deal. But it was a very good game. For the rest of the tournament, the games were,
Right.
remember the Syracuse-Marquette game, Marquette had 39 points, brutal. The shooting was brutal. Even the foul shooting was brutal. But that game was very entertaining.
I had a great comeback.
Yeah.
Capped off with like alley-oop, right?
Right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous.
But yeah, in that championship game, it was great. Spike when he hits his 4 threes, and then freaking Hancock comes back, with the beard. And you know what? I was like, Spike and Hancock, they're like us in 15 minutes of fame.
Well, I'm Spike because Oates likes him, and hopefully she likes me.
That was a very, very entertaining game. Very entertaining game.
It was. Now, I know the tournament as a whole wasn't very, you could say those, the third and fourth round, I mean,
Right.
now the first round is
The
actually the
16,
second
Elite Eight,
round.
yeah.
But, you had a lot of pretty good upsets. It was very exciting basketball. You had,
Florida
LaSalle.
Gulf Coast, yeah.
Florida Gulf
Good
Coast.
stories.
LaSalle made a nice run. Yes, exactly.
Well, that Florida Gulf Coast coach, he's going to USC. Here in
Yeah,
Houston.
the rich get richer.
Taking his Maxim wife.
That's
and
it.
heading out
I
to
hate him.
Lala.
I hate that guy.
You know-
and everything he stands for.
He really hates him. He, really
I do.
does.
I'm coming for him.
Now, so many of these things,
It's not about the money with him.
Right.
when
His wife wants to live in California now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's already a
pretty much,
millionaire. He's yeah.
$150 million he sold his business for.
Now,
That's
now
awesome.
we always look at this NCAA tournament and we get really excited about these upsets and everything. And it seemed like we got them all this year. And then we get to the second set of games there in the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight. And we're like, God damn, I wish this team was still in it. I wish they were in it. But, that's part of the excitement and why it's called March Madness.
Yeah, no, for sure. But both of the national semifinal games were pretty good. But how about that one charge call against the Syracuse kid? I mean, that changed the game.
Yeah.
That absolutely changed the game. And I feel like these refs, like they want to be part of the show. I really do. I know it's a very difficult job to ref basketball, whatever. It's a difficult job, but just too often I feel like they want to be part of the show. They want to be in the spotlight. 3 questionable calls down the stretch to win against Syracuse. I mean, you can have your opinion, but 3, they could have went either way. All 3 went against Syracuse. And so, to see the refs, I'm not going to say the side of the outcome, but they definitely had a major influence in the outcome of the game. You don't want to see that because, it was a pretty good game.
Well, especially in basketball, as with the charging and the blocking calls, they can make a huge difference on something that's go either way, really.
Right.
And I read something on Laker Nation the other day, I think, a good article there, right? Where he said the refs could decide, they could give the Lakers the call down the stretch to make them win games and you try to lose.
You're absolutely right. Well, that kid was going to the basket. Trish was going to the basket. The other kid came in. He was already in the air. So Syracuse is down 2. He makes that layup. That was tied.
Right.
Instead, it's going the other way. That kid fouls out. It completely changed the dynamic of the game.
How about in the national championship game? It wasn't a charge call, but Trey Burke, he just slams the Louisville guy right against the backboard. Blocks him. Right. That at the point, too. That I think it was a 4-point game at the time. That happens. They got the ball. They can go back down. Nope.
Yeah.
Guy shoots 2 free throws. Of course, he makes both of them. I was waiting for him to miss one so I could just say, ball don't lie. Ball don't lie. But he didn't. He made them both.
Well,
Ball didn't lie.
What did that mean?
Rasheed Wallace. He does that all the time.
Oh,
all right.
That's a Rasheed Wallace. All right. Now, before we get into our first video break, me and Irish Vern today had a little wager going on. That's why we're rocking the team's apparel today. The Phillies on the right and the Mets on the left.
I came in so happy today.
Thanks in
and
here.
go ahead.
Thanks in here.
Now, June 23rd, it's a Sunday afternoon game. Us 3 and my father, Tom Walsh, will be heading down to Philadelphia, where we got first row seats out there in right field. We're going to get ourselves a 14asports.com banner so everybody can see us.
Nice.
But
we don't have a box down there?
It better have
Yeah, we don't
50
have-
MOFE down there.
Bring that big ass man.
So the Mets won the
Sorry,
first game
Ron.
of this series. The Phillies won last night. So the rubber match today was to decide who was going to pay for the tickets for that game. They're not too bad. They're $75 a pop. But
Is that with tax?
no, that's that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll leave the tax out for this, just in case the IRS is watching. But the update on this: the Phillies are beating the Mets right now, 5-1, as they start the top of the 4th inning.
Unbelievable.
Gotta love it, Irish Vern, huh?
No, I don't love it at all. No, I'm going to be on the hook for $75. Why would I love that?
Is this rain headed south?
Yeah, that's what I just said. I hope they get rained out. Restart the game. Freaking Jeremy Hefner. Oh.
All right, well, let's get into that first video break. And right after that, we're going to come back with Bob DiCerio, get into some Nets basketball. And let's get to it. First video is from the Man-Made Machine. This one's called Victim. Nice. 14A Sports on 15 Minutes of Fame Radio. We'll be right back.
15 minutes of fame. Let's go.
14A Sports Radio Show.
Oh, you know what? I'm watching this video, and the guy just burnt a $20 bill with a blunt. Quality entertainment, right?
We love the underachievers.
Don't know why we get flagged on YouTube.
Trying to figure that one out.
Oh, God. All right, so to close out the show,
baby.
let's close out the show with a little bit of NFL talk. This Rivas situation still is not resolved yet. It's making me
enough of
irritated
it.
as a Bucks fan. I know we've been talking about it on the show for like the last 4 weeks.
Anywhere you look.
Now the Bucks look like, they say they want to give up that first round draft pick. Jets say they want it, but then they want more. Rumors out of the Bucks camp have them also trading up to get the maybe the Detroit Lions pick at 5 to get D. Milliner.
Obviously, if they don't get, because if they don't get Rivas, they would do that, right?
Well, the thing is, too, they can basically sign Milner for significantly less money right now, and you're getting a much better player there in the future. You'll have that Milner, Mark Barron, Alabama
a
contract.
much better player. I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know about a much better player, but you're going to save yourself some money there.
for sure, for
I mean,
sure.
and the Bucks it looks like they're willing to shell out $15 million or more, whatever it takes for this.
Right, to get Rivas? Yeah. Well, what do you, as a Bucks fan, do you want Rivas? What's your opinion on it?
I do. I mean, I think we need to get some star power down there in Tampa. The attendance has been lacking the last couple of years. We got some good star power there right now with Doug Martin, Vincent Jackson. There's a lot of good stars there on that defensive line. It's just they can't stay healthy. Pass defense was the huge thing last year.
Yeah, you have to address that somehow.
And I think we were talking about last week, or how they're the number one rush defense, but that's because nobody really needs to run on. They just throw on them all over the place.
Look what happened in the Meadowlands.
Oh my God! In person, breaking my heart.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think the guy from Yahoo Sports reported that it's a 1, a 3, and a 6?
Right.
You think that's too high a price plus the contract?
That's
a lot. If that's what it is, that's a lot.
It is,
that's a lot.
but here in this draft,
the whole contract.
Outside
The whole contract, they're gonna eat.
Yeah, they're basically going to give him $15 million a year.
They're going to have to give Reeves a new contract. Like 15 a year. Yeah.
Jesus.
Plus give up the 1, 3, and 6.
The thing about this, you do it. Yes, I think it'd be fine if they do it. They need that help there, and
here's the problem with the Bucks. Josh Freeman isn't that good.
No,
that's the problem.
No.
If you had a stud quarterback, that and that's your missing piece, that's your last piece. Even if you get Reeves, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. Josh Freeman isn't going to win a Super Bowl. I think that's too high a price to pay.
That's way too much. Ask the Vikings how it worked out with Herschel Walker. It's like the Cowboys built all those picks up in the Super Bowl contender, and they did nothing.
But from the Jets' end, if they get a 1, 3, and a 6, I think they should absolutely do it because they're going nowhere anyway. Yeah. You get those picks plus your own. You're going to stink. You're going to have high picks. And you have the salary cap room. You don't have to pay him. I think the Jets have to do it if that's.
They're stupid not to do it because it's they already have the 9th pick in the draft. You can get yourself a 13, that's fine. But from the Buccaneers aspect, it really is. It's going to be this Revis or this Milner situation because after Milner in this draft, I don't want the Bucs to take Xavier Rhodes 13th because the drop off of Milner to Xavier Rhodes, he should be going in the 20s somewhere. Xavier Rhodes.
Well, they can trade down,
right? But I think this deal is going to get done. This is the only place that Revis could possibly go. But let's switch it over to the other New York team right now. Victor Cruz contract situation.
Actually, just real quick, when I was down in Florida, we were hanging out, and I met the center for the Giants, David Boss. Yeah, really cool guy. He's from down there in Sarasota, so that's why he was hanging out down there. Went to Michigan. A really cool guy. The guy, he signed a $30 million contract. I bought him a beer. I mean, what, that's the kind of guy I am. But no, really cool. And he actually, I obviously threw out the 14A Sports, and I was like, would you mind coming on the radio? He's like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, I love to do it. And so, I don't know. He had a couple beers, but he gave me his email. So maybe in the future we get that in a way.
Yeah, definitely. You think he'll come in studio?
Well, he lives in Paramus, but so right now he's down in Florida. So I don't know when he's back. I don't know his schedule, but who knows? I don't know. We'll try to figure it out. But so back to the Cruz contract. So it's coming up. He's either going to have to sign that tender or, he's going to have to sign that tender, because no one's offering him. No one's offering him. Or his other option is the Giants have a long-term deal on the table. He just doesn't think it's for enough money. So either signs the tender or signs the long-term deal. And then, if he signs the tender, next year he rolls the dice. Either way, he's going to be back with the Giants.
You just got to play the 1 year, and that's it.
You know what? Mike Wallace did the same thing last year, and it worked out for him. He got a huge contract from Miami. So, I'm sure Cruz is looking at that. But, I mean, that's a tough situation. He would make about $6 million more if he signed that contract. So he has to figure out if he's going to make more money in the long term, the big contract, if he leaves that $6 million on the table this year. So I'm sure he has smart people.
He's got JC working for him.
That's right, and Cano, right? They just went with JC.
Yeah.
Jeez. So we just alluded to Mike Wallace with the Steelers and everything. The Steelers, if they don't pony up, they're going to lose another one of their receivers. Emmanuel Sanders signs the offer sheet with New England today.
Who's going to catch the ball there in Pittsburgh next year?
Yeah, I know. I mean, maybe Brandon Lloyd can go there. The New England, it would be kind of like a
swap.
It's not a trade, but they could basically swap spots. I'm
available.
I got no hands.
I had 8 touchdowns in the touch league last year. But no, I think Brandon Lloyd would be a good fit in Pittsburgh. He's basically another Mike Wallace. So they wouldn't lose anything there.
Actually, I don't even know what would the Patriots have to give up if they don't match.
I'm not sure on that.
He's probably a second round, right? He wouldn't be a first round. He's probably a second round tender.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, it was third receiver.
Yeah,
it's probably a second round tender.
But
That's
that's the thing. If Pittsburgh lets Emmanuel Sanders go, they really have to look at what they got,
Right.
or where they're going to go with wide receiver. Because you look at the draft. I think Cordarrelle Patterson's probably the best receiver out there. He's not going to be a difference maker next year.
Tavon Austin,
Antonio Brown. I mean, that's gonna right now that's going to be your number one receiver.
Yeah,
and he's had a lot of hype these last 2 years, and he really didn't.
He's a nice player, but he's not. He hasn't shown yet that he's a stud by any means. Not at all. Yeah.
So real ballsy move by Pittsburgh letting Wallace go like that, and
Wallace getting a fortune. I think they let Wallace go because they knew they had Brown and Sanders. But if they let Sanders go, wow, that'd be. They'll probably match it though. Yeah. They'll probably match it. I would think they would just because of the lack of receivers that they do have.
You can't let him go to New England. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about Pittsburgh maybe getting Tavon Austin there in the first round. I don't see Tavon Austin making it out of the top 10. To be honest with you,
really,
I think there's a lot of like the Jets. They need a playmaker.
The Jets aren't taking. I'll bet you the $75 I'm losing today that the Jets don't take. The Jets aren't going to. Here's the Jets. The Jets are going to take one of the outside. They're going to take Jarvis Jones or Benquilios Mingo.
Yeah,
best name in the draft.
He's a name that's really climbing.
I tell you what, I don't like the Jets, but I want them to take him just so I could say that name all the time. Barkevius.
Well, if he goes to Tennessee, you could still take that.
I know, but he wouldn't be as prevalent, in the local community.
What background is that name?
Barkevius.
He's with Georgie Jack.
Georgie
Jack and Segala.
That's gonna be another Kelly Oates favorite.
Get in the Mingo jersey.
Barkevius. Now, speaking of the NFL draft, we're trying to get a little draft party going on, but we need a soundboard. So if any of you guys out there got any soundboard hookups, you let us know. We're going to get this done right.
When we say hookup, we mean free.
Yes. We need to borrow it for the night.
Yeah. Or we'll buy shots and shit.
You will.
You can buy them for us. Donate shots. But getting back to the draft.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are going to take one of those outside pass rushers. Or the guards, there's two pretty highly ranked guards. They could use a guard. Their offensive line play has deteriorated in the past year. Take one of those guards. I know that's pretty high to take a guard, but all the scouts say that these guys are pretty legit. The kid from Watson, Chance Warmack from Alabama, and the other kid from North Carolina. They're both pretty highly regarded.
In this draft, there's not like the skill position isn't going to be prevalent here.
It's a defensive line. There's a lot of defensive line.
A lot of both lines. A lot of both lines in there.
Well, the first pick is going to be one of the. It's either going to be Fisher or it's going to be the kid from A&M.
I see a lot of movement happening in this draft because you got Kansas City there at number 1, and their line is really good as it is.
Yeah, Brandon Albert, they franchised him. Yeah,
you could add Luke Joeckel there. That'll be great, but. That's not their biggest need, I think. I think they're going to probably want to go somewhere along the defensive line or something.
I'll be honest with you, though. When you're that high in the draft, you can't draft based on need. You have to draft the best player that you think. Because that – I know Jerry – that's why I love Jerry Reese. That's what he does. He takes the best player available. Like we thought – when he took JPP, we already had OC, we had Tuck, we had Kiwanuka.
Who's the best?
Thank God he took JPP,
Yeah.
So I think you have to take the best player available. But the other thing, the reason that there might be movement, or because they instituted that new rookie salary cap. Mm-hmm. The first pick used to be almost a detriment, right? Like Jamarcus Russell, he killed them.
Yeah.
Other guys, Tim Couch, first pick, killed. So if you missed on those picks, that devastated your franchise.
5 years at least.
Absolutely. But now with the rookie salary cap. Teams aren't scared to go up and go get a player. So that's why, there hadn't been much movement until that was instituted.
Yeah, I think Kansas City got to take Geno Smith and
what?
See what happens.
Oh, you're crazy.
Andy Reid's gonna love him. He's calling him the next Donovan McNabb. It's gonna happen. They're gonna boom him like they booed McNabb.
I don't think Geno Smith's that good. I don't think he's that good. He had like 35. He had like 35.
Well, here's the thing.
Nobody thought McNabb was that good either.
Yeah,
he got booed on draft day. Philly fans didn't deserve him.
McNabb was a lot better at Syracuse than Geno Smith was at West Virginia. No doubt about that. No doubt.
Well, the thing about that too, Kansas City can trade up and probably still get Geno Smith because it doesn't look like. I mean, Philly's had some interest
Not on
in
the
Geno
Walsh
Smith.
draft board.
McShay, Tom McShay of ESPN, he doesn't even have Geno Smith going in the first round. He says he takes a look at all these teams and he's like, I just think it'd be a detriment to that team to have him there.
Oh, he can't go further.
No, he's not. He's not. But I don't see him. I don't see
Think
him
he'll
in that
fall
top
like Brady Quinn?
7 at least. I don't see that far. I think Buffalo has a dire need of quarterback.
Yeah,
They should
but
take
Buffalo-
him.
Kevin Cobb's there to win the Super Bowl.
No, but
now, right?
Buffalo's head coach was the Syracuse coach, had Nassib there for 4
Right,
years.
right.
He's going to want Nassib.
I know, but I think Nassib. I don't think he's gonna make it too far out of that second round. I know the Jets have shown some interest, but what the hell? Like
Yeah.
he'll go to New York and tank his career probably. But Nassib is a guy that has been a lot of interest lately, and I don't see him making it back to Buffalo in the second round.
Yeah, I think Buffalo definitely have to trade up in the
Yeah, they
second
could
to go
trade
get
up.
him. Yeah,
Right.
I think they would definitely have to do that, no doubt about it.
But yeah, there's a lot of interesting names here that could possibly go in the 20s. I know Richie's Cowboys. I think a good spot for them. Kenny Vaccaro, the safety out of Texas.
Another Texas safety.
Yeah.
The first one didn't work out that well.
Well, the Cowboys, though, they're going back to the 4-3, and they're getting old up the middle. They're going to convert back over. I think they got to get a little younger there and just get a lot stronger. And
Yeah.
Where?
And then-
At what position?
defensive tackle.
D tackle.
Yeah, you
we're
got
already 32 and 30 years old up the middle. It's
you got
You have Spencer and Ware, right? I'm
no,
sorry, and
they're on the
tackle. Yeah,
outside,
right. Yeah.
Well, you got Sheldon Richardson, the tackle from defensive tackle from Missouri. He's a name that a lot of people are liking a lot these days. Sylvester Williams, another defensive tackle from UNC. Those are two names where I think the Dallas could possibly go at that. But I really think Kenny Vaccaro, safety there, will be a good spot.
Yeah. Well, Dallas has shown proclivity to trade up in recent years. So
Yeah.
if they like a player, maybe they'll go get somebody.
Jerry's not afraid to pull the trigger.
No,
I
he's not that
know,
good at it, but he's not afraid to do it.
Yeah, he's not.
I know a guy that we were talking before the show. You like Alec Ogletree, linebacker from Georgia.
For the Giants at 19, for the Giants, they have not had a playmaking, difference-making linebacker since Antonio Pierce was in his prime. They have not had one on in the middle, outside. They have not had it. So I really think the Giants definitely have a couple needs they can fill. They can go offensive line, maybe DJ Fluker, the kid from Alabama. But actually, before they signed the tight end Myers from Oakland, I thought they were looking at the tight end from Notre Dame, Eifert.
Yeah.
A lot of talent, a lot of skill there. But Ogletree was, he's had some off the field issues. But as I said, Ahmad Bradshaw did too. They work with the Giants. The Giants make that work. And he was just a beast. He's a beast. He's an absolute tackling machine. Another two guys that have dropped. Demontre Moore, the kid from A&M. Who he's a defensive end. He only did 12 reps on a bench at the combine, which that would throw off a flag.
Good luck, buddy. Good luck.
And then that kid Warner from FSU. He's also a DN. They were projected to go pretty high. And they
John
seem like,
Warner.
Yeah, their stock has fallen. But actually, I think I want Ogletree. I think Ogletree's the pick there.
You know something with Ogletree? I think he's coming with a 4-game suspension too because he had a DUI in the offseason and then he had a marijuana charge. So
and then I was also reading. What an idiot! He went to Georgia. He was on campus and he went and stole someone's moped helmet.
Well, I mean, the great need in our society for moped.
Maybe he was
Was
riding
it for
one
a
of
Harlem
those
Shake
golf-
video?
He was riding the golf cart drunk. He wanted to protect.
Right, and apparently when you ride with Coles, you gotta go fucking guard it.
How about now we got
But the skill I think outweighs the nonsense, and the Giants have shown that they'll straighten those kind of characters up.
Yeah. Now there's two teams here in the draft too. We got St. Louis. They got picks at 16 and 22, and then you got Minnesota.
I bet
with
they didn't.
23
I
and 25.
bet they thought that other pick would be a lot higher when they made the
definitely.
RG3 there.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are two teams that could upgrade. Now for Minnesota, and then since they have those two close picks like that, a guy Keenan Allen, the guy from wide receiver from California.
Yeah.
I think they get him. They basically got themselves another Percy Harvin.
Percy Harvin was good, man. I mean, he couldn't say
Hurt.
healthy, but Percy Harvin was
Except
good.
for when he got a headache.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
no, yeah. That's interesting. Minnesota, they have a lot of needs, man. The other thing too, teams like that, if you don't have a quarterback, do you believe in Ponder? I don't.
God, no.
If you don't have a quarterback, you're not going far anyway.
That's true. And they made the playoffs last year, and I think there are a lot better teams. You know, like the Giants.
I think that. I think that's a little.
They didn't make it.
And, you know, Peterson ran for 3 million yards.
I think Dallas was better than Minnesota last year. They didn't make the playoffs. Now, one guy that I just want to. I'm probably going to put the big time Walsh jinx on him right now. Guy Arthur Brown, inside linebacker from Kansas State. There's a guy. A lot of people right now are comparing to Ray Lewis.
He was All-American, right?
Yeah. Now, Baltimore, you know, they're in a good spot to take a guy like that. They just lost Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
This is somebody that people are comparing him to. So don't be surprised if Baltimore takes Arthur Brown there with 32.
I've actually seen a lot of mocks having Baltimore taking Manti.
That was my next question. Where do we see him going?
Yeah. I think, you know, a lot of that nonsense with the fake girl, I mean, I think that's all died down. I think that, you know, the combine, he wasn't that fast, but then he came back at the pro day and ran a 4.71. Manti Te'o is an NFL starter. You know, I saw almost every college game he played in. He's an NFL starter, no doubt about it.
He's a good kid. I mean, there's some bullshit.
Yeah,
he was saying
he's an
about
idiot,
that, but
whatever. But
He's
he
a
could-
sucker for love.
Yeah, man.
He could play ball. But I could see Baltimore going inside linebacker, no doubt. You know, the heir apparent to Ray Lewis.
No?
They lost Ed Reed, too, you know. How about the 49ers? Where do you think they're going to go?
You know, there's a couple of cornerbacks here at the end of the draft that really intrigued me. You got Desmond Trufant from Washington and Jamar Taylor from another cornerback from Boise State.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to make it that far, but those are two needs that, you know, like San Francisco, you can, you know, they're set everywhere, you know, so why not go with some more cornerbacks? Atlanta desperately needs a cornerback. Maybe they trade up. Maybe they get Desmond Trufant. Maybe they go who's the other tight end that we got here?
Oh, the kid from Stanford.
From Stanford.
Yeah.
Maybe they go with him as the heir apparent to Tony Gonzalez. You know, we're gonna have a lot more draft coverage these next 2 weeks. Basically, when it happens, like we said, hopefully we get the show going. But do need a soundboard. That would help. So I
need a motherfucking sound.
Then you get the banner. Then you're sitting on a toilet full of shit.
Uncle Rob, he never disappoints. He never does. One last update before we get out of here. It is 7-2 Phillies in the top of the 8th.
Right.
So I do have a PayPal account. Just let you know.
Oh, screw you.
All right, we're going to get out of here for the night. I feel, you know what, I think we need a longer show or maybe more days. This went by way too fast again this week.
It really does.
We're
It really
having a
does.
great time doing this. You know, the fans out there, we're seeing all the feedback on Facebook, Twitter. It feels good, you know, to know that a lot of our work is going recognized now. So we want to thank all you guys for that.
Yeah, actually, if anyone has, you know, a small business or have anything they like to advertise, you know, we're interested in getting into that. So if anyone would like to do that, yeah, just reach out to us and we'll definitely make something work.
Or if you just want to be a philanthropist and give us money,
We accept.
we all have PayPal accounts, so that'll work out well.
I'm $75 lighter.
Technically 150 because you got to pay for your own ticket too.
Yeah, but I didn't lose that. I was paying for that anyway.
Good point. Good point. All right. A special thanks out to our engineer, HD. He's the best in the biz.
Yeah, he's
he
great.
makes this shit work every day. We never see him on camera, but we see him in person, and that's all that matters. Another special thanks to Bob DiCerio tonight for coming in.
And Coles.
Absolutely knocked it out of the park. I'm getting there. And Coles with the News Network. And I guess that's it, guys.
No,
Yeah.
one more? No?
Oh,
The
yeah.
live studio audience.
The live studio audience of Rosemary Baresi. I finally get her last name right.
No, it's Barisi.
Oh, it's Barisi?
You suck at this.
Fuck! I was joking around saying Barisi.
You can get HD wrong.
I can't do that. All right, so special thanks out to everybody that was here in person and everybody out in cyberspace watching us. Love you guys very much. Make sure you tune in next Wednesday, and we are out. 14A Sports on 15 Minutes of Fame Radio.
Peace.
15 minutes of fame. Let's go.